Hi, I'm Kat, and welcome to my channel Elevate, where we talk about recovering from toxic relationships and regaining our self-love and self-esteem. Today's topic is going to be being okay when people dislike you or even hate you. But before I get into the topic today, please subscribe and set up your alerts by hitting the bell icon so that you can get a notification whenever I post a new video. So I was talking to someone today who felt like someone doesn't like her. And interestingly, it got me thinking about how we all have trouble and we struggle with the idea of someone not liking us or someone hating us. And that is something that you need to get okay with pretty quickly if you've dealt with a toxic or narcissistic person, because most likely that person is going to smear your name and make you seem like a bad person to anyone that they can possibly tell. So you are going to have to be strong enough within your sense of self and strong enough in knowing who you are as a person, knowing your good qualities, knowing that you did the best you could in the situation, knowing that you cared and you loved and you did, let's say, the best you could, the right thing in your mind. And despite the fact that this person now says terrible things about you, now they hate you, now they're making you out to be bad, they're smearing you to friends, family, whomever, there's something to be said about being okay or getting to be okay with people not liking you. It's not easy because, like as kids, we are taught that we want people to like us, right? Like we'll do what we can to get people to like us. So we'll try to bond with people by chatting with them and finding things in common. And maybe we'll compliment people. Some people use compliments as a way to get other people to like them. Or let's say you share the love of a sport together or something, something that you both like to do. And we all feel good when someone likes us, right? But what happens when someone doesn't like you and now you have to accept that and deal with that? It's not easy for most people. I think we all feel like, well, why don't they like me? Why are they being like this? In the case of toxic people, you really can't make sense of it. That's the hardest part because you are looking at it in a completely different perspective than a toxic person or someone who's got a personality disorder or mentally ill. You're not looking at it from the same perspective, so you'll never understand. And that's really hard for us because we want to understand and we want people to like us. We like I said, you're conditioned as a child to want people to like you. And it does feel good to get validation from the outside world. So you have to, at some point, accept and understand that not everyone will like you. Not everyone will like you. And in addition to that, there will be some people who hate you. There will be some people who think you're a terrible person, even though you've done what you think is all the right thing for that person or the situation. So acceptance is big here. And the idea that you can't let a few haters change your mindset about who you are and what your good qualities are. And you just need to know yourself on a deeper level. So for instance, people who are codependent a lot of times don't have a deep sense of self. They don't have enough of a sense of self. And they're constantly considering other people's feelings instead of their own. And that contributes to the lack of sense of self that codependents have. So I would say strengthening your own sense of self, really getting to know yourself on a deeper level, would be a great exercise for you to start to become okay with the idea that people don't like you. Because as you solidify who you are and you know it, like deep inside who you are, then you will realize that it doesn't matter if someone else doesn't like you. You know, people are going to come and go. And a lot of times people don't like you because of their own issues. It's really got nothing to do with you. And you can't get hung up on everyone's opinions of you. Like, I know someone and her opinion of herself rises and falls on everyone else's opinions of her. And that's a problem because she doesn't have a solid self-esteem. Her self-esteem is going up and down based upon what these people think. And I can't imagine being on that kind of roller coaster where your sense of who you are and your sense of self-esteem is literally hinging upon the opinion of others and changing daily. That's got to be such a roller coaster way to live. So I would say if you could get solid on who you are and you could really know yourself on a deeper level, you're not going to have an issue with having to worry about if there's some people who dislike you, because most likely, as I said, it's about them and their hang-ups. There could be so many reasons why people don't like you, and a lot of times with toxic people, it is because you are reflecting to them like a mirror what they are not. So if you've achieved a lot, then they're going to feel like they're less. They are the type, toxic and narcissistic people are the types of people who do base their own self-worth and self-esteem on what others think of them. But in a way, it's almost even what they think of themselves. It's the reflection of the other person towards them. So let's say, hypothetically, I'm dating someone and they're a narcissistic person. So they might feel insecure and they might dislike me because they decided that they don't feel good enough inside, that for whatever reason, they have a level of insecurity and they compare me and them. That's not my fault. I didn't actually tell them that I thought any less of them, but in their mind, in their psyche, that's what they see, that they see this mirror of, wow, this other person is great in these certain ways and I'm not. I don't measure up. So they will look at it as if you're the bad person for reflecting their insecurities onto them, even though you didn't do anything. So that's one piece of why people may dislike you and you didn't do anything to them. Obviously, I always like this saying, when people are committed to misunderstanding you, don't commit to that person. So you want to separate yourself from people who are committed to misunderstanding you for whatever reason. If you're expressing yourself openly and honestly with people and they are not accepting that as truth, and they've got their own mental hang-ups or reasoning that they're going to substitute in place of your open and honest truth, you're not dealing with someone who's going to be able to communicate on a mature, open level. So there's no point in really continuing to try. You just want to remove that person from your life because they're always going to be frustrating you because they're not actually listening and they are committed to misunderstanding you. And there's nothing you can do about that. So that's super frustrating. I've been in that situation before. I guess the bottom line is that there will be people that are not going to like you, and you need to have such a strong sense of self-confidence, which is hard after a narcissistic relationship or dating a toxic person in general. It's very, very hard to be able to have a level of confidence and self-esteem, because your self-esteem and your confidence has drastically been reduced due to the abusive tactics and the dynamic that you have been exposed to during this period of time. So it's good to work on this as a personal growth practice, and just try to get to this place where you recognize that people may dislike you for many different reasons. It doesn't mean it's about you. It's not necessarily saying anything about you. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, a lot of times people will dislike you based upon their own issues, and you'll never know that. They're not going to tell you that, right? It's something that's subconscious, probably, even with them. They don't even know why. So they can't even explain it to you. They're not going to be open and honest with you. You have to be so strong within yourself and know that you are who you are. If you're a person full of integrity, if you have ethics, if you have strong morals, and you try to play fair, then you just sit in that. And if people don't like you, that's okay. There are always going to be haters, right? And even when you're trying to do good for other people, there will still be haters, because it's happened to me even with this channel. So keep that in mind. You're not going to please everyone. You're not going to be liked by everyone. But as long as you like and appreciate yourself, as long as you love yourself and make efforts to love yourself, to improve your own confidence, to improve your own self-esteem, and care for yourself, then it doesn't really matter what those people think about you, because you know who you are and you know the goodness in you. I hope this video helped you today, and if you have any more questions or comments about self-love, put them in the comment section below.